BJ Novak is probably best known for his time on The Office, but he is also one of the many celebrities who had a great personal relationship with Bob Saget. In the wake of the Full House star's unexpected death, some are looking at one of Novak's recent tweets and finding it a little bit eerie. Before we get to that, let's unpack the sad news about Saget. On the evening of January 9th, TMZ first reported that the 65-year-old actor had passed away in a hotel room at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando. The news was confirmed shortly thereafter by the Orange County Sheriff's Office, who tweeted about Saget being found unresponsive and pronounced dead at the scene. They said there were no signs of foul play or drug use. As is to be expected, Hollywood and beyond are now shook up about the news. Given his decades-long career in the TV industry, Saget was a legend. And when many took to Twitter to mourn, Saget's name instantly became a trending topic. And one tweet from 6 days prior popped up near the top. That tweet belonged to Novak. Even though it's how many people got to know him, Bob Saget was so much more than just that TV dad on Full House. The man who played Danny Tanner was a stand-up comedian, even performing a show the night before his death. And he'd recently started a podcast called Bob Saget's Here For You. It's that very podcast where BJ Novak was a guest recently.
I'm like a son to you. You have had everyone I've ever met on the show before you asked me.
On Twitter, Novak shared a snippet from the interview, along with the message, "I have always and will always love Bob Saget." When Novak first posted that sentiment on January 3rd, one person responded, "I saw your tweet and thought maybe he died. What a relief to see it in context." Sadly, days later, that fan's worst nightmare came true. Another Twitter user summed up what we're all thinking. Hauntingly prescient of BJN to make this statement 6 days ago. Never stop telling people of their importance to you. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Someone else on Twitter echoed that last part, referring to Novak's tweet as, "The definition of showing love for someone still here." Following the news of Saget's passing, Novak took to Twitter to simply share a broken heart emoji. While it may not seem like much, it's obvious exactly what he means. And as his other tweet made clear days prior, the Office star had lots of love for Saget. It almost seems like celebrity deaths happen in multiples. Mere days after America's Golden Girl Betty White died, news broke that America's dad Bob Saget had also died. However, while White was an impressive 99 years old at the time of her death, Saget was a relatively young 65 years old. Eerily, Saget penned a touching tribute to White upon her death on Instagram, sharing a funny story about an encounter they had years ago, while also reminiscing about White's view of the afterlife. He said, "She always said the love of her life was her husband, Alan Ludden, who she lost in 1981. Well, if things work out by Betty's design, in the afterlife they are reunited. I don't know what happens when we die, but if Betty says you get to be with the love of your life, then I happily defer to Betty on this. My God, we will miss you." It's all the more chilling now knowing what happened just days later. Since then, Saget's former co-stars have been remembering their beloved friend. Since the news of Bob Saget's death broke in the media, fans have been taking to social media to remember the star. Of course, that includes several of his former Full House co-stars, with whom Saget formed close relationships. John Stamos was one of the first people to comment on the sudden news via Twitter, saying, "I am broken, I am gutted, I am in complete and utter shock. I will never ever have another friend like him. I love you so much, Bobby." Andrea Barber, who played the Tanner family's neighbor Kimmy Gibbler, took to Instagram to remember her longtime co-star too. "He had the biggest heart of anyone in Hollywood. He gave the biggest hugs. I am gutted that I will never be able to hug him again." One of Saget's television daughters, Candace Cameron Bure, also penned a tweet to express her sorrow over the shocking news. "I don't know what to say. I have no words. Bob was one of the best human beings I've ever known in my life. I loved him so much."